Good evening, my friends. You are interested in the mysterious, the unknown, the unexplainable. For that is why you are here. Now, for the first time, we are bringing you the full untold history, the events that we are bringing to you to demonstrate, beyond any doubt, the existence of the supernatural, the paranormal. Yes, my friends, are your hearts ready for the mysterious unknown to be revealed?
Quite right, Mr. Tesla.
Now that was an entrance.
Thank you, Mr. Houdini. I trust you've all had some time to get to know each other.
To a degree. The conversation was just starting to get interesting when the clock stopped and you came out of the shadows, Mr.
Aleister Crowley.
I should have guessed this had something to do with you. You still marrying ghosts, Mr. Crowley?
Are you still chasing them, Mr. Houdini?
So you two know each other?
I've worked with each and every one of you in some facet or another, whether you were aware of it or not.
We both were consultants for a film serial once, about 8 years ago or so. We never actually met, but there were days that we were both on set.
It's true. I remember Yeet speaking at great lengths on you when the order was split.
Well, Aleister, what is this all about? What have you summoned us here for? This project of employment you referred to?
Well, technically I'm more of a guardian character, you see. But nonetheless, let us get down to brass tacks. Right now we are all in the town of Athol. Just south of here is a little town called Aylesbury. About 10 years ago, all imports and exports came to a halt. At first, it was thought that the community wasn't getting any fresh water, so they were kind of closing shop, so to speak. But after some research from the neighboring townships, they found that highly dubious.
Why is that?
Because an additional 8 or 9 years before this, a great white English hunter had retired and chose Aylesbury as his new home, bringing with him his vast found fortunes. The whole aqueduct system is his. It's been under construction for the last 20 years, and strictly funded by him and overseen by a committee of hand-picked consultants. Since he seemed to have moved to Aylesbury for its seclusion, he kept most of his funding of projects as well as most of his endeavors private. Since he was footing the bill for all the fresh water importation, no one really questioned his motives.
Motives? What exactly was it you thought he was doing?
Outside of being mysterious and reclusive, not much. Right now all we have is folklore and wives' tales.
And you want all of us to go see which ones were true and which ones were false.
Sort of. We're not quite sure what kind of state this place is in. No one's moved away, but the capital for ongoing project offensives are still coming out of town, so no one knows for sure what can be expected there.
Who is this hunter character?
We're not quite sure on that either. We know upon his arrival that he was just coming back from Africa. We've boiled it down to a few of the names that have been used for certain official documents: Timothy Spall and Archibald Grossington. There are no other documents that can be found to prove either of these men exist: birth certificates, death certificates, any kind of licensing. If in fact these gentlemen are from England, then neither one has ever lived or died.
And so far, this is all the expedition is going on. Legend and folklore.
Those and one really odd bit of information that doesn't seem to genuinely connect with this, but felt like it should be mentioned by this expedition's backer. Around the same time the hunter had moved to the States, the bank account of Alan Black was closed out.
And then why is that odd?
Only that the great white hunter Alan Black is already shrouded in mystery. Some say he never died. Some say that he fell deeply in love with a Dahomey princess and was married to her within minutes of meeting her and is spending his happily ever after in Africa. Even more fantastic stories have arisen, stating that he found the end of the world and fell in, never to be seen again. I've even read articles stating that he did indeed die after seeing the face of the Judaic-Christian God, and his ghost has been charged with the task of protecting the Holy Grail.
So how should we proceed? These clues are all very vague and mildly chaotic.
You don't expect us to go out there now, do you?
Of course not. That's all we have to go on for now. But just remember, the sooner you start, the sooner we can get to the bottom of all this.
Well, what about the preliminary investigation during the day tomorrow?
That certainly sounds safer.
Safer? What does one expect us to find?
I've not the faintest inkling, but if we find anything at all, during the day sounds safer. Plus, if people do still live there and don't like outsiders wandering around, going during the day would at least make us appear to be less unsavory in intent.
And that's all we'll find. A bunch of backwood yahoos that probably can't tell their arse from a hole they just dug. Anything supernatural, you could tell it to Sweeney. 'Cause there ain't no such thing. If there were, I've had come in contact with it by now.
You ever consider that maybe the supernatural may be purposely hiding from you and your abrasive sensibilities?
What do you mean by that?
If the supernatural is skittish by nature, it may not want to reveal itself to people who have already made up their mind about what is real and what is not.
He means, Mr. Houdini, that if the living stay the hell away from you, what chance do you have of meeting the dead?
Oh, clever, Mrs. Houdini. Simply clever.
It seems our host is some kind of backer, or more primary figure behind this rendezvous. It also seems to me that Crowley may have more invested than he freely divulged. After supper, he regrettably excused himself from the gathering. His words he used were, "I must depart before my business becomes pleasure," a charge our employer often accuses me of, but then again, I do enjoy indulging, do what thou wilt. So he came to the conclusion that just as our charge was to investigate this town, it was his assignment to assemble the group, as well as acting liaison, parlaying between the group and the more mysterious, unnameable boss figure with the initials WRH. The group, on the other hand, seemed to be just as curious about the other members as I. An incredible crew. I'm still getting used to their social behaviors, being much more outgoing than myself, but without a doubt, each one a kind of master of their forte. Tesla is an obvious choice for such a group, more open-minded than his more famous colleague. A wizard as well as mad scientist, he designed and constructed devices that I've only read in science fiction pulp magazines. His intelligence comforts me, even if his mind wanders feverishly, possibly dreaming up his next invention, plucking it out of the heavens and turning it into reality. Houdini, the handcuff king, but more recently a paranormal debunker. His knowledge of the supernatural is impressive, but regarding such knowledge as fanciful folklore or whimsical legend, his skepticism feels potentially dangerous. I feel his overwhelming interests also qualify him to be part of the group's investigation, his marvelous lust for death-related regards. What is that? Looks like you got your wish, Howard. This picturesque motor hotel doesn't disappoint. What is that horrid stench? It smells like methane. It's not the lamp. Excuse me. I say, pardon me, is everything all right in there?
Did you see the look on that fat bastard's face?
You are seeing things, Mr. Houdini, I assure you.
He was looking you up and down, Mrs. Houdini. He was a heartbeat away from licking his chops.
I'm pretty sure he was looking more at you. Wishing to lick something else.
You know, you may be onto something. I've heard quite a lot of interesting stories. Who could be calling at this hour? Lovecraft, old man, you're as white as a ghost. Oh, wait, never mind. You were pale and tragic the moment we met. Please, come in, come in.
Mr. Houdini, I don't suppose you brought with you any of your escape equipment.
My father was Mr. Houdini. No, wait, that isn't true. Call me Harry, Lovecraft. Why do you ask?
I was wondering if you could pick the lock of the room next to mine, room 118.
Thank God. I was getting bored. Give me a moment. Okay, let's go. And it was coming from that room, you think?
It had to have. At first I thought it was a pest of some sort, a rat or something, but the stench, it was like rotting flesh. But it wasn't emitting from any of the gas lights.
Maybe it was a rat with meat or something.
If it's all the same to you, I'd like to be sure.
Well, let's have a look-see. Good show! Holy God! The whole damn room smells of death!
Use your handkerchief. Look here, Houdini, the wall. The scratches, like something digging through the damn wall.
That's certifiable, Lovecraft. This damage couldn't have been what you heard. Look at this. There's a little hole leading straight through to your room. How could those little scratches have made that much progress in such a short period of time?
Whatever it was must have realized I'd left and started working double time, perhaps.
Or got his friends to help. What do you suppose they were trying to do?
God.
What is it, man? Your window is open.
It's not here.
What isn't? What are you looking for?
My father's suitcase.
Is it a red leather case?
Yeah.
Like that one there, by the window?
I certainly did not leave it there, nor did I open this window. Cool drafts make me terribly ill.
I wouldn't think you'd leave it there either. It seems too important to be left haphazardly by an open window.
Yes, a window that can only be opened from the inside in a room that was locked.
Almost as if someone were in the middle of liberating it.
Someone, or something.
Stuff and nonsense. What is that all over the handle? What exactly is in that case, old man?
Frankly, I'm not sure what is in the case. My father left no combination for the locks, along with strict instructions not to ever open it under any circumstance. As for this sludge, it looks like slime or pond scum. Ugh. It smells just like the death room next door.
Why in blazes would you bring such a family heirloom?
I don't know. I don't recall grabbing it with my luggage. I must have grabbed it by mistake when I was leaving for the station.
Are you putting me on, Lovecraft? Attempting to test my mettle?
Why in God's name would I do such a thing? This is serious.
I don't know. Because you feel I'm skeptic?
I never said that.
No, not to my face anyway. Maybe the inn has a vault you could put the case in.
Yeah, I'd like to switch rooms too, if that's maybe a good idea.
You can stay in my room with Bess and I.
Oh, no, thank you. I don't feel that it's a good idea. I'd rather be on my own at night. I'm not much for slumber parties.
Okay, suit yourself. I'm easy. You know where to find me. Subsequently, I purchased the writing desk of Edgar Allan Poe. I'd love to show it to you sometime. I've got one of the first electric chairs, too. Those are few of my prized possessions. Good luck with the room, Lovecraft. Good night.
Yes, thank you for all your help, Harry. Good night. I think I'll keep this open for right now. Suppose I should wipe the case off. Ugh. I wonder, see what I got here. Here we are. I can send this to the university to get some kind of analysis on this substance.
Mr. Lovecraft, how is your room? Is nice?
Actually, it's not to my liking, Mr.
Petrushka, what seems to be the trouble?
Well, it seems like one of the gas lights may be leaking. My room has a faint odor of methane.
Oh, I'll set you up in room 108. Sounds good? Anything else, Mr. Lovecraft?
Christ. Yes, actually. I don't suppose you have a depository or a safe for more personal items?
Oh, yes. Is stick and lock state.
That will do. Is there only one key?
Oh, yes, of course only one key. Everything is only one key, Mr. Lovecraft.
Thank you, Miss Petrolska. I'll return in just a moment. Feel much safer in this room. I need to add this little misadventure to tonight's entry. Where was I? Let's see. I feel his overwhelming interests also qualify him to be part of the group's investigation. He has a marvelous lust for death-related regards. What the eyes see and the ears hear, the mind believes. Harry Houdini. How the hell did he do that?
What the? Ah!
My friends, do not let your eyes see, nor your ears hear, that which you cannot account for. These historic events are designed to help you to be prepared for the thrilling, relentless exploration into the unexplained. Join us next week when the mysterious unknown is revealed.